My name is Lydia Martin. I'm the Director of Education and Engagement for the Lancaster County Conservancy. The Conservancy's focus is to protect natural lands, but then once you actually protect that land, you've also got to do a great job stewarding it, and you've got to connect with people to get them outdoors because they're going to remain invested. When you get them seeing what they're protecting, I mean, this is a beautiful wildflower preserve, but when people abuse it, illegal, motorized activity, or you have people just throwing trash, it's abuse of the land. So our primary focus as a land trust is to protect natural lands. And we do that primarily in Lancaster and York County. Today we're out here with volunteers. We're probably up to a little over 40 volunteers today that signed up to come out and help clean up Shenks Ferry Wildflower Preserve. We're picking up trash, and we're also managing invasive species. A lot of the invasives that came here, some of them were introduced for medicinal value, maybe for edible plants. Sometimes they were introduced because, maybe it was thought that they would be a great use for erosion control. And what they found is that later in life, it's like, it was a mistake to introduce an exotic plant that is now competing with our natural environment and taking away habitat for our native wildlife. We've made a lot of mistakes over time, and I think what is incredible to me is that we've made those mistakes. As humans, we're the worst invader. So let's just own it, and now we got to do something about it. Here at Shenks Ferry, if you take out the invasive plants, there's enough native wildflowers to repopulate. So that is an advantage of a preserve like this, and part of the reason why this 85-acre track and nature preserve is so important. Today our focus invasives are garlic mustard, which is a biennial. You tend to see it mostly throughout the winter. You'll see basal foliage. It's a deep green foliage. We like to remove that because it's allelopathic, which means that it will inhibit growth of other plants. And so it's really critical to take that out of the environment so that our native wildflowers can keep regenerating. In addition to that, for today, we're removing multiflora rose, which is very aggressive and produces these hips that just spread, and the seed can remain viable in the ground for 20 years. We want to take as much of that out as possible. And then also some of the invasive vines. English ivy is a bad vine for climbing up trees, and eventually it'll smother tree foliage. Oriental bittersweet's another problematic vine that will pull down trees. It's amazing what many hands can do to help manage invasive species. There's a lot we can do physically. This is a great day to volunteer. You can see there's a lot of, youth and families that want to come out, and they want to help. They want to help clean up the environment. I've definitely seen the trend for more volunteer interest. Definitely a lot of requests from businesses as well. It's an opportunity to do some, maybe for them it's sort of a team building exercise, but it's this desire to want to give back. My drive is to help people realize how valuable biodiversity is, how valuable plants are to wildlife, and the only way to do that sometimes is to get out, to see what we're protecting,